The vast sea of clouds covered the mountains, but there was a peak that broke free and pierced through like a sharp sword, standing above the sea of clouds. But if you look closely, you can find that this peak was created by a formation and does not belong to this mountain range. On the top of the mountain, there stood a person who also created this mountain. This person was the young master of the Red Soul sect. He stood on the top of the mountain, holding a compass in his hand, sometimes staring at the compass, sometimes looking into the distance, especially those formations that were still emitting beams of light, which were the focus of his observation. Now, all those who followed him have successfully collected the power of the formation. Of course, he was the one who gained the most, because he had the most blank tokens in his hand, and they were all filled with the power of the formation. Moreover, because he was the flag bearer, he also received additional benefits. But at the moment, he was not as happy as he expected. First of all, he was a little confused about what the extra benefit was. It was a ball of red flame, like flames, like blood mist, gathering in the flag behind him. At first, there was only a little bit. Although as more and more people gathered power, the power was enough to cover half of the flag. As the flag rushed, it looked a bit gorgeous. But this power could not be cultivated and had no effect. Although he could summon it out and enter his body, it only penetrated through and could not feel anything. In the end, it would return to the flag, which really made him unpredictable. Secondly, he immediately deployed troops and arrayed to block Chu Feng and others. If Chu Feng and others dared to come to collect the power of the array, they would be captured alive. But he looked at the array compass in his hand, and there was no movement. With a gust of wind whistling from a distance, two people from the Red Soul sect flew over from different directions and landed on the mountain peak. Young Master. The two landed on his left and right and knelt down at the same time. Haven't you found Chu Feng and others yet? The young master of the Red Soul sect asked. No. Both of them shook their heads, and one of them added. Young master, I think Chu Feng found out that we were ambushing them, so he didn't dare to come to collect power and had given up. Oh, the most talented world spirit master of the current generation turned out to be a coward. The young master of the Red Soul sect laughed contemptuously. But although he said so, he was still panicking in his heart. The light column caused by Chu Feng earlier, above him. But because of the distance, he could not determine the specific location, so he did not look for it. I thought Chu Feng would come here to gather strength, but Chu Feng did not step into this area. If Chu Feng really did not dare to come, why did he make a token? Moreover, even if Chu Feng did not dare to come, the true God Realm woman of the ancient race did not seem to be afraid of him, so why did she not show up? While gathering strength, he also talked to the younger generation of the Seven Realms Saint Palace about Chu Feng. The news he learned was that Chu Feng was not only a real talent, but also a capable person, and he was very cunning and a difficult character to deal with. These news really made him uneasy. Rumble. And at this moment, the world trembled. Looking up, a huge barrier gate appeared above the void. Because this barrier gate was too huge, it was like a huge hole torn in the void. People in the whole world, no matter what their cultivation level was, no matter where they were, could see it clearly. On a plane in this space world, there was a hidden barrier, and more than 300 people gathered in the barrier. Qin Zan, Yuan Yanri, including Zhao Zuyin and everyone else, came to the gathering place provided by Chu Feng. Only Chu Feng had not arrived yet. But they were not worried at first, because they believed in Chu Feng's ability. They thought Chu Feng was just collecting power. After all, He had a lot of blank tokens in his hands, and they were all of the best quality. It was normal for it to take a long time. But now that the barrier gate appeared, they were a little anxious. Even if they all had tokens containing powerful power, if they missed the opportunity, they would suffer a great loss. Don't worry, this door can only be entered but not exited at present. It is only an entrance, not an exit. When everyone was a little anxious, Chu Feng's voice came from a distance. Following the sound, they saw that Chu Feng had come closer and stood in front of everyone. Chu Feng, is it done? Qin Zan hurriedly stepped forward and asked. Compared with other things, he was more concerned about Chu Feng's gains. Done. Chu Feng smiled and was very satisfied. This chapter is not finished yet. Click on the next chapter to continue reading. So many tokens, have they all been collected? Qin Zan asked. Right. Chu Feng smiled and nodded. Okay. What should we do now? Should we go and teach them a lesson? After all, those ancient juniors were very arrogant before. I can't wait to let them know that the power they have collected is far less than ours. As soon as Qin Zan said this, many juniors actually agreed. Yes, they have always been making things difficult for us. Now we must let them know how powerful we are. The other juniors were also eager to fight. Although their own cultivation was limited, the power gathered by the tokens in their hands made them full of confidence. Even if it was the young master of the Red Soul sect in the True God realm, they were not afraid. As for the others, they were even more confident in dealing with them. Have you ever thought about a question? Why is it here that allows us to collect such powerful power? Chu Feng asked. To help us break the formation. To give us the ability to protect ourselves. It is possible that we will encounter terrifying beings later, such as those terrible formation monsters. With this power, we will not be afraid and can go further. Everyone answered and expressed their opinions. You are all right. So, this power is not easy to come by, and the road to the age of gods is still long. We don't know when we can reach the end. We should use this power where it should be used. We have settled the grudges between the ancient juniors. As for these ancient juniors here, they are not causing us any trouble at present, and there is no need for us to provoke them. In my opinion, even if they provoke us, we can ignore it, because they are not worthy of us using this power. Don't forget, everyone, the purpose of our coming here is to explore this age of gods, not to fight with others. Chu Feng said. What Chu Feng said makes sense. We acted on impulse. Everyone nodded and agreed with Chu Feng's words. Even Qin Zan admired him and couldn't help but sighed. Brother Chu Feng still has a big picture view, shame on you, so ashamed. He really admired Chu Feng's calmness, because when he obtained this power, his first thought was to teach the ancient junior a lesson. But now think about it, Chu Feng is right, although this power is strong, it cannot be wasted. As for Chu Feng, he looked up and looked at the barrier gate. He has discovered that the barrier gate seems to be simply wriggling, but in fact it hides a mystery. This is a hint. At the same time, outside the Age of Gods, the vast barrier gate that leads to the Age of Gods has been closed. Now there is no chance to enter. However, the majestic barrier power did not dissipate, but instead formed an extremely vast mirror body. The size of the mirror body is much larger than the larger world, like a huge bright moon hanging in the sky. Above the sky. Not to mention those who have come to the vicinity of the Age of Gods, even those who are far away but have certain observation skills can see it clearly. The mirror body was blurry at first, but it is getting clearer and clearer, and finally a starry sky emerges. However, this starry sky is obviously not the starry sky where they are, and it may even be an illusory starry sky. Because in that starry sky, they saw the figures of many powerful contemporary figures. Not to mention the top figures of the top forces of all parties. Even the Lord of the Seven Realms Saint Palace, Jia Tianren, is among them. But in addition to the people they know, there are many strangers they don't know. The people they know and those strangers are each in their own camp, forming an opposing trend in that starry sky.